Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another wonderful Sunday and TLP Live. Hey, Paul, how we doing?
Happy Sunday, Dan. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing very well. You know, Bill and I have been working all afternoon on this bidding software, and we've been testing it out and making sure that it's ready. And then tomorrow we'll throw it out to you guys, and we'll test it again. But it's working really well.
That's great news, Dan. That's great news. And I can report that the performers have been doing an amazing job. They have been working with our musical director, Michael McBride. Michael has also assembled a little three-piece band, including some bass and drums. And I think our audiences are going to absolutely love what we have in store for them in the entertainment for our gala.
Well, I can tell you, I saw the preview of the videos today, and I was blown away. They are incredible and such a great job. My gosh, our talent is wonderful, and Michael has done such a good job putting it together. So, yeah, I think everyone will be really excited about what we have. And you know, at the gala on Saturday night, we will be announcing next year's season. So that's kind of all part of the evening. And these videos do a real nice job showing us what the new season is. So I won't say any more about that, so I don't accidentally let something go.
It's hard. It's hard to keep a secret. It's definitely hard to keep it on, especially when you got talent like that. But I will say this Saturday night, August 29th, and I've been hearing, Dan, that we actually have been getting tickets from not only our normal patrons, but we are reaching out there. We are getting people buying from Florida, from New York, from Texas, and it is shaping up to be quite a nice.
I've got a Burbank, California, a Vineland, New Jersey, San Antonio, Texas, Orland Park, some other Chicago suburbs. Here's a McFarland, Wisconsin, Madison, Tennessee. Yeah, this is this is what we talked about when we were going virtual, that we didn't have to limit ourselves to the surrounding area, and this has been pretty cool seeing people from all over the country buying tickets to the gala.
Absolutely. And you know, it's not too late to get a ticket. I can confirm that we have some great talent. We have Nisi Shalom is going to be performing at the gala. We have Marcus Martin. We have Olivia Belfi and Logan Dolan. We also have Anna Catherine Smith and Morgan Arriaga, Roy Brown, our very own Robert McFletcher Jones, and Altamise Cooper are going to be performing. And I am just so, because we haven't been able to produce this summer, Dan, I forgot how much I miss what we do. So much of these performers that are, and it warms my heart, and I'm just like, we got to get back.
Well, and Paul asked me to come into the theater the other day and set up some light looks because Paul's wife, Felicia, who is playing a role in the Christmas show, our premiere next summer, Paul and Felicia staged a real nice song from that show. And whoops, see, I got to stop talking. I just said what one of the shows was.
All right, we already told our audience.
We already told. Okay, good enough. Then I'm fine. Anyway, a great staging of that show using our theater, so you won't want to miss that. And like Paul said, tickets are still available. Someone just bought a ticket a couple of minutes ago. In fact, every time someone buys a ticket, it beeps on my computer. And tomorrow at noon, we're going to put together a bunch of party boxes, and we'll send them out tomorrow at noon. And UPS has guaranteed that they will still arrive by gala time if we get them out by tomorrow noon. So if you buy a ticket tonight or early enough in the morning that we see it and we get a party box for you, we're good to go. And we'll talk more about the party box and more about the gala later. But right now, Paul, I'd like to introduce our guest tonight. Our guest is from our 2010 company, and he's been doing a lot of stuff since that. He's had Broadway credits. He's done a Broadway tour, national tour of Newsies. He was in He was doing Mean Girls. We'll ask him more about that, but I believe when it closed down, along with Olivia Kaufman, so he knows Olivia from our 2016 resident company. Let's bring on our guest tonight, Daniel Schweitzer. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Good to see you, Daniel. Thanks for being with us tonight.
It's awesome to have you here. So tell us a little bit about where you were before you came to TLP. How'd you get to TLP?
Oh, wow. Okay, so that was back in 2010, and I was auditioning while I was in college at Rockford College in Illinois. And I went to the Midwest Theater auditions. It's a big mass audition where a bunch of theater companies come. And I did a general audition. I got a call back, and I eventually booked and got a call saying, hey, you want to come work at Timberlake this summer? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I did not know that you went to Rockford College. That's just a little ways from where I live. I live in Byron, so I know quite a few people from Rockford College. And actually, Paul, we've had several Rockford College students here working for us. Tech director, stage manager at one point. So, yeah,
it's a great place. And now it's Rockford University. So
yeah, Rockford University. They have a wonderful theater program there. A great theater. I love their theater.
It's great. Well, Daniel, let's go back even more so. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got bit by the performing bug.
So I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and a big part of the St. Louis theater scene is the St. Louis Muni. It's a huge outdoor theater. I think it's the largest amphitheater outdoor in the United States. And I grew up going to shows there, and I went and saw Peter Pan with Kathy Rigby. And she was flying through the air, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I turned to my mom in my seat and I said, I want to do that. I want to be up on that stage. And I was lucky enough that my mom put me in dance classes, and she put me in singing and theater lessons at a really young age. And so I got to be a Muni kid shortly thereafter. And ever since then, I've just been, I love it. I love theater so much. So that's where it started.
That's great. Muni is a wonderful, wonderful place. I know a lot of young performers that come out of there and continue on their journeys. And my wife Felicia has actually had the pleasure of working there. She did All Shook Up a couple of seasons ago with her good friend Dan Connectus directing that show. So that was and she just raved about that place. I mean, I imagine 12,000 audience at that outdoor stage. It's crazy.
I don't know how big it is, but I know that it's so big that they have to have a free section of seats. So there's a whole back area where you don't have to pay because there's enough seats for everybody. It's huge.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So you come to Timberlake Playhouse, and tell us a little bit about that year, that season, and some of the roles that you played, and some of the times that you had here.
Yeah, 2010. That was, I think, Jem Beaudry's first official year as artistic director, and he wanted to go in with a big bang. And so the first show of the season was Chicago. We did Steel Magnolias that season, Curtains, the musical, Love, Sex, and the IRS. And I was also in a show called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and that one was my pentacle, my favorite of the season. I got to play Chip Tolentino, and he sings this crazy song called Chip's Lament, but he sings about a really bizarre happening at a spelling bee, and it was really, really fun.
So what other things do you remember about Timberlake when you were here? What was it like?
It was really, really interesting. So when I first got there, I was like, okay, so most of this is outside, but then I stepped into the theater and it was so beautiful. I loved the space and how open it was. I remember how friendly everybody was, and it was a really big casting crew. And I was kind of a little quiet and timid at first. I was a little apprehensive about getting to know some new people, and everybody just opened up their personalities so fast, and I got to dive into that. And I really feel like I came out of my shell during that summer, and I really stepped into just being myself and feeling comfortable around theater folks.
Cool.
It's
So
Timberlake.
the rehearsal pad was outside. Now, did we have a roof over it in 2010?
There was a roof, no netting.
A roof, no netting. Well, right now we still have netting, no roof. We had a tree fall on it last weekend in the big storm. So,
Oh,
yeah. Well, so that'll be a little bit of time. We'll have to get that dealt with before next summer. But yeah, that's interesting.
Mm.
maybe I can help you do a fundraiser for that.
That would be very, very good. Yes,
We'll take you up on that.
we'll take you up on that for sure.
So now, when you were here, Daniel, it was this one of your first professional contracts? And if so, what was that experience like? Did you have any experience coming into it beforehand, or did you know what the summer stock model was, or was it just all happening at once for you?
I knew about the summer stock model from the Muni, and I had done a previous summer with Amish Acres, and they only did one show that I was in, so it wasn't the same. So this was my first time doing like a full summer stock. I was in multiple shows, from beginning to end of season. I was expected to help out with the lights or the sets or the costumes, whatever people needed, and so that aspect of it was all new to me. Yeah, it was really awesome to be a part of like a camaraderie, a team of people that put together a show. So when I was in the show, it wasn't just about me performing. It was like I helped put this whole production up on its feet. And like there's some really huge amount of pride that comes with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that resident company camaraderie that you have a plan, you have a hand in whether you're helping with the sets or the costume shop on your downtime, so that you really get a chance to feel that pride. So that when the show goes up, everybody has that sense that we did this together, which is wonderful. And that's something that we still do today.
For sure, got to put in your time.
You got to put theater boot camp. So now, what were some of the takeaways? So you would go on, you would leave, TLP and continue on your journey. Was there anything at TLP that kept with you as far as your process as an actor, creating a character, your work ethic, anything like that you took away with you?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, just last time, the camaraderie part of it was really interesting for me, because I feel like when you're in college, when you're in university, you are learning your skills on your own, and then you put them to test in your productions. And at TLP, I really learned a lot about teamwork. I learned a lot about building a community and putting on shows for the community. So I realized that the people that I'm working with in the industry, I'm always going to be working with them. I'll always see them at auditions. I'll always see them down the road. So this idea of like, it's just me going on my acting path, that kind of got shattered a little bit. And it was more about like, okay, how do I step into the theater community? How do I be a part of this bigger thing? And a lot of that is teamwork. It's a lot about, realizing that the show is for, the community that Timberlake has, and then further on beyond that, the Illinois community, the United States community, the Broadway community, that all exists. Those people are there.
Absolutely.
So right after Timberlake, where did you end up? Where'd you go after that?
So Timberlake happened. I graduated from Rockford. I did one more summer stock after that, and then I went on tour. And I've been touring and doing shows on the road since then. I was lucky enough to go to another mass audition, and I got cast in the musical Cats as Mungo Jerry. And I did the non-equity version of that show on the road. And I, again, put in my time, and I learned a lot. And then from there, I kept auditioning. I got my equity card eventually. I did the national tours of Wicked and Newsies. And after that, I went to New York. So yeah, I really had a good time touring. I found out that I'm kind of a gypsy at heart, and I really do like to move around. I do like to meet new people, new communities, and yeah, so on the road a lot.
On the road a lot. So you know what? I've also spent a lot of time on the road. Let's talk a little bit about that because for me, I remember when I was on the road, especially when you're doing non-equity. You're doing long miles. You're doing a lot of hours. You're getting up at 6 a.m. getting in the bus. You're driving all day, and then you got to perform right there at night. Do you feel that by the time you got to that stage of your career when you were doing these tours, that Timberlake and that kind of work ethic that you had to 10 to 10, did that help you be able to stay in that mindset, or did it matter? Because again, I know that for me, after 10 months of touring like that, my entire system was fried. And I can imagine, and I wasn't a cat, I was in the Buddy Holly story, so I can only imagine being a cat and having to dance and then trying to at the end of the show. Tell our audience a little bit about that tour experience and what a day in the life could be there.
Touring on a non-X show is really interesting. I don't think there's anything that can prepare you for it. We got up really early in the mornings. A lot of people slept on the bus because we got up so early to get to the next city. And we were usually in the city for one night, maybe two, or maybe the weekend if we were lucky. And we did a lot of shows. So at that point, we also kind of just stayed at the theater. In between shows, it was important to rest if we're dancing that hard for 3 hours in a show, singing, all that stuff. So I learned a lot about really honing into like, what does my body need? What does it take to get this show going? And also being on a non-X show, like it's a lot of that community, you're expected to do a lot of stuff to get that show going. So yeah, definitely TLP helped me figure that out.
Nice. Yeah, that was and then the difference between going from a non-act tour to an act tour, there's a little bit more, rules and regulations. Usually you're sticking around a city for at least a week, if not longer. And then you get a chance to kind of see the city. And, what did you feel like when you got what was the show that you got your equity card with?
I got my equity card with a chorus line at Musical Theater West in Los Angeles. And then I got on the national tour of Wicked shortly thereafter with that card. So that was pretty awesome. So the differences between non-EC, right, Cats non-EC to Wicked production level equity show were night and day for sure. And I didn't take any of it for granted. Let me tell you that. When people would talk about, I never had to do those things. And I was like, well, you're lucky, and I feel like I really learned a lot, and I am still humbled from those experiences, because on an equity tour, yeah, it's really nice. You do stay in a city usually a week or two, hopefully 3 or 4, and so that's totally different. I got to know the cities, I got to know the community, I got to know the people at the stage door, and I got to be involved in other things like cabarets or fundraisers for BCEFA. I would take yoga classes in the community. I would go to the restaurants in the cities. And that is how I actually fell in love with the city of Portland, Oregon. And yeah, so the equity tours were really awesome. And it's a really great place to build up to a career. And I've been lucky to be on multiple equity tours. And I can say, it is needed, a union in this business, and I'm really happy that I put my time in and that I worked my way up to my union status.
Very good. So then you got a chance to perform on Broadway.
Yeah. So after I did Newsies, which was my second national tour, I said to myself, okay, I've got 3 touring credits. And if I don't put a stop to this sometime soon, I'm just going to be doing that over and over. So I sat down in New York City and I decided to hone my skill set in New York. So I was taking classes at Broadway Dance Center in steps. I got a vocal coach, and I told my agents I didn't want to go to the tour auditions anymore, and I wanted to focus on the regional auditions and really the New York auditions, you know, off-Broadway credits, things like that, because it really does take building up to that. No one's just going to throw you on Broadway unless you're like an amazing talent, and like that's super rare. So I have given the advice of like, be a part of the community. You know, there is a New York community of teachers, choreographers, singers, dancers that I got to know and I got to love. And after auditioning for Mean Girls for, I think, over a year, I think I went in 5 times for that show, different things, singing, dancing, acting, asking me to read sides. I think they were just trying to figure out how I fit into the show. You know, he's not really an Aaron Samuels. He's not really a Mathley. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, maybe he's a swing. So I was cast as a temporary swing in Mean Girls, the musical, last year, 2019. And that's how I made my Broadway debut.
So were you still there doing that when everything closed down in March?
So I was temporary there. And that was because a castmate on Mean Girls got injured. And so they were looking for someone to step in. And so I was only there for about 4 months as this person got better. And then from there, I had got cast in Frozen National Tour. And that's where I have been since then.
Wow, very good. Frozen National Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing in Frozen? What role are you doing in Frozen?
So in Frozen, I am ensemble, and I also understudy Olaf and Wesselton, and it is so much fun to do those roles. I mean, I really love diving into a character role because it's the point where everyone gets to like relax and laugh a little bit when Olaf and Wesselton are on stage. You know, Frozen's kind of dramatic, so.
Very good.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that position of swing? I think that, you know, at TLP, we don't really use swings. We just started using understudies recently. But I think that the whole world, the world of a swing has its own set of rules and its own set of skill sets. Why don't you talk a little bit about what that is? And go ahead and take a little bit of a difference between a vacation swing, an injured swing, or a full track swing.
For sure. So the best way to describe what a swing is if you think about an understudy, like those people step up into the lead roles when the lead is sick or on vacation. So a swing is basically an understudy for anybody in the cast is how I look at it, because I've known swings that have stepped into lead roles. So the swing has to learn multiple tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In Newsies and in Mean Girls, people are learning up to 7, like just because the show calls for that. So these people are learning up to 7 different tracks of, you know, Molly, Shannon, Beth. They have to learn their different tracks, which is everybody's different. They grab different props. They sing different melodies. They do different dance moves. So a swing's mind is very unique. The person who becomes a swing is somebody who can multitask, somebody who can work well under pressure. And it's somebody who has, to me, a very organized way of doing things, because when the stage manager comes knocking on your door and says, you have 5 minutes to get on stage, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I think that I'll also, you know, you're very humble. It's not just a lead, but also an ensemble track. So something like Newsies, where there's those Newsies have constant tracks. So you might learn the race track, you might learn another track, and those are dancing tracks. And so not only do you have to know where to go with the dance, but you also have to know all of your positions on stage that will change whether you're on a specific level. So, and learning up to 6 tracks makes you almost such a valuable asset for a production, because then they can rely on you to be able to go up to you. The stage management might be able to call you 5 seconds before you have to go on and say, or even in Act 1, you know, I'm sure that you've experienced, especially with an athletic show like Newsies, a newsie might get hurt in opening number, and they're like, Daniel, get dressed. You're going on, and by the time we get to scene 3, and so you really do have to not only ready yourself to be able to prepare so many roles, but then you also lines through Act 1 right away.
I think we lost you on that, but I do hear what you're saying with being able to step in, because in Newsies, it's so much happening: singing, dancing, athletic movement, running upstairs, and a lot of like throwing and kicking and jumping. So these are very athletic things. And yes, people got hurt. And so someone would have to step in at any moment. We did have vacation swings, and on Newsies, which a vacation swing is somebody who is planned to be at the show for the time of someone's planned vacation. So say I'm like, okay, I need a week off. I'm going to go to wherever. Someone comes in to just swing that week. Well, on Newsies, our vacation swings would stay with us mostly because we just needed them. We needed the extra help. And it's so awesome to be in a show and know that you have swings that can back you up and back your production up. So those people are very valued in this community. So I say get to organizing, get to multitasking, get to know all those things, because if you can swing, you can work in this business.
Absolutely. And you know what? You also have a dance background, Daniel, and I think that a lot of people, especially if you're just a dancer, speaking, singing, those don't come as naturally as being aware of your body. What was your journey like? Did you start as a dancer? Did you start as a singer? Or, how did which foot came first in your world?
Yeah, for sure. So after I told my mom that I wanted to be up on that stage, she put me in dance class that fall. So that was the summer, and then she put me in dance classes that fall. Now I realized as an adult that that's really awesome. My mom really did that. So I started dancing at a very young age. I grew up in a dance competition studio, and I learned about what it was like to compete. And so this business has a lot of competition aspects to it. I would say it's more so on the artistic side, but it's also, you are up against really talented people. And so how you deal with competition, I learned a lot about that in the dance studio. And from there, I started auditioning from the Muni, and the Muni was like, well, you got to sing too. So I started singing. I did choirs and things like that, and would eventually do voice lessons and get into acting more so in college, even though I did some commercials, but that's not really acting, that's just kind of like you're a kid who's cute. And so in acting, I started doing that in middle school and high school is when I really was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue this. So I started working with a coach to help me get prepared for colleges.
Well, it sounds like
That's great, and it's a wonderful.
Sounds like you've had a great career since you've left TLP. What's been the highlight of your career since then?
There's been some good stuff. I think highlight is just being able to work, and I love touring, like I said. So even though I really set my sights on Broadway at one point, I am stepping into wanting to be on the road, seeing the country. I've hit a lot of the states in the United States, and I'd love to hit them all. I think Newsies has to be a pinnacle just because we were filmed. I'm in the Jeremy Jordan version of it on Disney Plus. It's going down in history. That's there forever. I mean, I can't take that journey away. It was really awesome to be a part of. Talk about camaraderie. That story is about brotherhood. It's about people standing up for what they believe in, and that changed me, and it made me who I am today.
And what were you in that? Were you ensemble or named role?
I was Race with the cigar, and I understudied Davy.
Very good. I'm going to look at that again, because at the end, you guys all come out and do a little jump in the curtain call, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember seeing that part. Yeah. Well, Newsies always has been a show that I have loved. Back when it came out as a movie, my kids just thought, hey, do that as a play. Well, you can't just do that. There's a lot of stuff that has to be done. Yeah, you can just do that. Do that at your theater. Just do it. It's like, so we were really glad to see it came out. And was it last season, Paul? We did a version of Newsies here. It was incredible. It's just such a great show. But I will definitely go back and look at the Disney Plus version now.
Yeah.
So Daniel, talk to us a little bit about a favorite memory that you have of your time here. Was there a it could be on stage, off stage. Is there a couple of memories that pop up that stay with you?
Well, I think the best memory I have is meeting my best friend. His name's Jacob Lacopo, and he was there that summer. And I mean, I met a lot of really good friends. I am friends with Samantha Barboza, who was on here last week. I'm still in touch with a lot of the people that I met that summer, and they're just so talented. Some have stepped out of acting, and some have continued to pursue different ways of acting. But just meeting those friendships, Jacob and I are so tight, and we lived in New York together, and we pursued that, skill set building. And I'm happy to say he booked his first national tour last year with Jesus Christ Superstar. And so it's just those relationships, that's my favorite memory of Timberlake. The people that you meet, they're very unique people, and it's a really amazing experience to get to do that.
Well, I'm really amazed at the number of people, and this has been, Paul, this has been such a great thing for us to do, because we used to sit here and say, oh, I wonder who, from this year is still doing theater. I wonder who's still doing, and to find out the number of people, we've been going back to people all the way back to the 80s with our TLP Live, and finding so many people started their career here with us at TLP and are just having incredible careers in theater. Now the next thing that's on us to do is to get all of this down on some sort of, in some sort of a website or something like that where we can keep this memory going. So it was really, really great to hear everything you're doing. And I understand there's something else you got going right now.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful to be a part of the alumni too. So I'm glad to be a part of that. So what I've got going on, so since COVID interrupted our theater experience as it is, and I'm so hopeful that it'll come back when it needs to, when the theater community is ready. I've got a virtual online theater camp. It's called The Greatest Theater Camp, and it's going to be based on The Greatest Showman. And we're going to be meeting this fall twice a week, and that's with a company called Art Starts, and they're based in Southern Illinois. And I'm really excited to be directing and leading that.
Very good. So how do our listeners find out about it? How do they you got a web address or something along that line?
Yeah, Art Starts. So they are on Facebook. There's an Art Starts Facebook group, and then they also have a website. It's artstarts.biz. So ARTSTARTS.biz.
Art Starts, and it's open to what? Is there a specific age group that this is open until? Daniel, who can sign up?
Yeah, so there's going to be two different age groups, younger and older, and it's from ages 7 to 18. The cutoff is 12 years old.
So if you're 7 to 12, you're in one group, and if you're 12 to 18, you're in a second group. Exactly.
We're going to do a more advanced version for the teens.
And what can people talk a little bit about? What can people expect? What are you going to do? Is it an ongoing thing? Is it going to end with a celebration, a show? What are we going to learn?
Yeah, so we are going to actually end with a virtual video, kind of like a viral video type of idea, cabaret setting, and it's going to be, in the theme of The Greatest Showman. So that's going to be the idea, right? How these different kind of performers, right, who are put into this subset of weird, different, and how they get to create their creative process. And so we're going to be leaning into how our individual creativeness and then bringing that to the forefront, just like The Greatest Showman.
This sounds very interesting. Got a couple of comments I want to bring up. First here is from Jen. Shout out to your amazing mom for supporting your passion. Yeah, I know so many parents who, when the kids say, "That's what I want to do," they're like, "Yeah, okay, sure." Study your math. And Bill was mentioning that Anthony Norman was also in that production of Newsies. Anthony was with us for the John Denver show.
Yeah.
When was that? Back in 2016, 2015, I think. So, and he left right from here. He left the next morning. He was grabbing his dance shoes and hitting the road. So, Melissa, if you remember Melissa from back in the day, so she, I guess that's an inside joke. Paul, remind me.
Sure is.
I shouldn't do inside jokes. So, and our artistic director is watching tonight. Awesome. Great idea. Congrats. Back to the community. So, and Samantha's on tonight watching. Very, very good. So, yeah. So you can jump on ArtsBiz and take a look at what Daniel's got going on. Well, Daniel, thank you for being with us. Anything else you want to leave with our TLP Live community?
Well, I think it just goes without saying. I mean, you said Anthony went straight from TLP to Newsies, and I think TLP is obviously doing some good stuff. So anybody who is lucky to see a show or be in a show at TLP,
and I would like to say that, Daniel, thank you so much. Daniel is also going to be performing for our gala on Saturday night, and he is doing. I'm not going to say what he's going to do, but you're doing great. It's sounding amazing, and I'm so excited for the audiences to see you and other fellow TLP up on that virtual stage.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we are too, Daniel. We will see you next Saturday night, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thank you, Daniel.
That was amazing.
It seems like they, it looks like we back to back with 2010, right? Like, so last week we had Samantha, and this week we had Daniel, and both are wonderful human beings and very talented artists. And, again, just so happy to know that we have that lineage here, that they come, and I think you said it right on the, you said something really profound, Dan, when you said that people still do the work. A lot of us, especially in this industry, when you're young, you try things out, and this industry is a very, very competitive industry, especially to be on stage. And it's very typical for somebody, a young performer, to say, I gave it a go, it didn't work out. But we have so many alumni that have gone on to hit the Broadway stages, and they have that talent, they have that passion, and they have that tenacity to do so. And it's a really wonderful feeling to be a part of such a great organization.
Well, it's also a tribute to what our artistic directors and our staff has been able to do over the years. They have attracted, and you have attracted that level of talent where they're here in their early career, which helps them transition into a later career. If we weren't able to attract that sort of talent here at Timberlake, we would be, our folks would be competing against those at that level, and we wouldn't have the kinds of numbers that we're seeing out there still performing, whether it be regional theater, whether it be in the production or direction area. But we're also seeing so many folks that have done national tours, Broadway tours, and performing on Broadway, and it's really nice to see.
It's a testament to the work ethic that we have here. We're going to give you an amazing experience, but you're definitely going to be, you have to put your time in, and and this teaches young performers that if you can put your time in, and if you can still love it, and on the way out, then you can go to New York and handle that kind of competition, because again, you're auditioning against thousands, and everybody's looking for one job, and it is very, very difficult. So, Daniel said it so eloquently when he said that he's humbled. He was able to, he did his ladder, his journey humbled him so that now he's doing Broadway. And I don't think it's going to his head. I think that he really remembers what he had to go through to get there. He remembers his time at TLP, and it's served him well to succeed on the Broadway stage, and that's amazing.
And it's also, I know we talk about this, but there is this Midwest ethic, and we're seeing this Midwest ethic in a lot of the people that come through Timberlake. Well, let's shift gears a little bit here. We have the virtual gala coming up on August 29th.
It is all happening. It's getting nerve-wracking around the campus, Dan. It's getting getting nervous. We're trying it, but I'm excited about the potential of what it can be. And I know that we've got Bill and Jen, myself, you. We're working our butts off trying to make this thing happen. We brought in our production company. Firshon Productions is going to be with us on this one, and we're very excited to be working with Bernie on this. And Dan, it's going to be a full night, and it's only going to be 90 minutes long. So it's going to be racing, but we're going to have some treats. I think that can we talk a little bit about the auction items that we're going to be having?
I think we can. Why don't I see? Let me see here. I always have this issue with trying to share my screen, but let's see if we can do that tonight. Well, let me just first mention a little bit about how these auctions are going to work. When we were here, we had such a crazy, wonderful time with the auction last year. Jeremy came out, he was our auctioneer, and he's going to be our auctioneer again this year. We're going to have a live auctioneer, Jeremy from down in the Sterling area. And we had people just having fun bidding each other up, and we're looking at how do we replicate that in a Zoom virtual auction. And I think we've been able to do that. Today, Bill and I were pretending we were bidding against each other, and we've come up with this bid software, bid app that works on your phone. And so I would sit there and I'd put a bid in, and it would automatically come up on Bill's phone saying you've been outbid, and he would put a bid in his phone. It would come up on my phone saying we're outbid, and it would also show right in here on our scoreboard in the office, so we could keep track of who is bidding from the scoreboard. Plus, we're going to be able to keep track on the live auction who's bidding by looking at our Zoom monitors. We're going to actually be able to see right into all of our gala parties across the country. As you had mentioned before, we have California and New Jersey and Texas and Wisconsin, and of course a lot of people around here. We're at about 150 people attending the gala at this point. And if you still want to get your party box and such, you can buy your gala ticket right up to the time the gala starts on Saturday. But for the party box, we need to get those sent out to you tomorrow sometime. So let me see if we can see this. So there is our gala site. So when you log on, you come into the gala site. It talks about our Fund the Need, our live auction, our silent auction, and then you can come over here. And I'm showing this. We're not quite. Oh, and look, of course, I have a problem with my computer, Paul. I have to get my computer fixed this week because I have malware on my computer, and it messed it up. So I guess I need to stop sharing, and I can't share this until we better get this fixed by Sunday night. That's all I can say, or by Saturday night. I mean, anyhow, you'll be able to pop right on that either on your computer or on your phone. You'll be able to look at the silent auction items. You can bid on silent auction. We're going to open those up on early in the afternoon on Friday, and we'll be able to bid through those through next Sunday night. Live auction will happen live. Fund of Need will happen live. And Paul, talk a little bit about the wishing well stuff. We're adding remember when you used to come to the gala, the wishing well would be there and you could buy stuff off the wishing well. But we're going to actually have the wishing well back this year. We didn't do so much with the wishing well last year, but Paul, talk a little bit about what we have there. And I'll try to fix my computer.
Thanks, Dan. Well, as everybody, if you are familiar with Timberlake Playhouse, we do have a wishing well, which is basically random items that the theater needs, whether it be a shop, a tool for our scene shop, whether it be a sewing machine for our costume shop, or whether it be something for the front of house. And so this year, we're going to be able to bring back our virtual wishing well. We're going to be having about 7 or 8 items on it. You'll be able to see it from your computers or your tablets, phones, Jumbotron TVs, whatever you're choosing to watch the gala from. You're going to be able to see that. And then throughout the course of the night, we'll be talking about those items. And if you would like to purchase or help purchase one of those items, you can do so. And there's going to be a link for you to be able to do so. You can call in. If you are not going to be interactive, if you're deciding not to put your camera on, which we hope you will, because we want to see all of your beautiful faces. But if you're choosing not to do that, you can still type in your bid at in the comments section, or you can even call into the office. There will be a phone number that you can call in. It will be somebody standing by to take your call, and you can pledge a certain amount towards the wishing well, or if you want, you can go ahead and just pick up the whole item and say, this is for this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take those people and we're going to be able to say throughout the night, oh, this wishing well item has been purchased. This wishing well item is almost purchased, and we're going to give you an update on how those are going. The items on the wishing well really range from a couple of $100s to a couple of $1,000s. They're not huge items, but they are, of course, very important. Like, for example, I will give you one of the items as we are revamping and reorganizing our costume shop. Our beautiful costume shop managers have said, Paul, we need a male dress form so that when our designers come here and they need to be able to make a men's jacket or a men's article of clothing, they're going to need a dress form to be able to do that on. So that will be one of the items, and a male dress form, if you'll believe it or not, goes for around $400 to $500. It's quite, it is a little bit up there, but it is important for us to have, and so we're going to go ahead and put that on the wishing well. And there'll be other items again that will range from different prices. But that is the wishing well. It is going to be virtual, and hopefully, if you're there, and when you're there, you can bid on it. You can help TLP achieve those items. Wishing well, virtual.
Thank you, Paul. Bill, if you're out there listening, send me a new link. It's gone. And then take my computer to get fixed tomorrow. We can't have this happen on Saturday night. That would.
But you know what, also, Dan, speaking of, since we are having some technical difficulties, I think we should talk a little bit about the potential of technical difficulties, which is why I think everyone should know that what we're going to do is, if when you buy your gala ticket, we are actually going to have a rehearsal. That's right. We are going to have a technical rehearsal the Thursday before the Saturday night gig. For 1 hour, our producer, Bernie, is going to send everybody a link so they can practice signing on and making sure you see exactly what you need to see. And if you don't see it, we're going to be able to call us. We're going to be able to talk you through it so that everybody is assured that you will have complete access with stress-free the night of the gala. So that's something that we're going to be doing just to avoid little things like this that we're experiencing tonight with the technical difficulties. So that's one thing we're going to do. Also, when you sign on, there's going to be a pre-show. So you're going to see something that's going to be like a TLP gala, so you know that you're in the right spot. So, for example, if you want to sign on, the show starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. But Dan and I are going to be doing some online programming from 6 or 6:30 to 7. And you're also going to be able to sign on anytime during the day. You'll see a splash page on the day of the event, so you know that you're there, and then we'll have a countdown of when the show is going to actually be taking place. So that's something that I'm very excited about, because I know that with this new space, technical difficulties, internet connection is all very real. So we want to make sure that our audiences are knowing that we have that covered, and you will be able to enjoy the show stress-free.
So you're going to get two links from us. Paul just mentioned the link that Bernie will be sending from, it'll come from his company, Metropolitan Zoom. And next Thursday evening, we're going to have a test time where from, I think it's 7 to 8 o'clock, you're going to get the opportunity to test your link to make sure everything's going to be perfect for Saturday night. So the other link you'll get will be from our bidding platform called BidPal, and that's this right here. And when you click on it, comes right to this page right here. And if you want to take a look at our Fund the Need, you go here and you click on it, and up it comes, and right there is our Fund the Need. It's a total rehab of our cabins. And we have 17 cabins that we want to rehab. We already have received one anonymous donation for one full cabin, and that is awesome. And if anyone wants to, as soon as this goes live, I mean, we don't have to wait till the gala, but it'll be fun to do so because you can click your money in and put your bid paddle up, and we'll have bid paddles. So you're going to click it on your phone and do your bid paddle so it looks like we're bidding live. And for those of you that don't have the ability to do it on your phone or on another computer, like Paul said, we'll be able to email. We'll be able to put it into the Zoom comments. We'll also have a phone available. Let's take a look here at silent auction. There are silent auction items, and we have bids in there and that, but that's just because we're playing with it and testing it. But they wouldn't have that on the one that you're going to get. So let's say you take a look at this and you want to buy the meat bundle. You click on it, you go over here, and it explains what the meat bundle is, and then you can either bid on it, and I've confirmed my bid, and it says my bid has been rejected because somebody else has a max bid out there. So if I want to bid again, let me just move that up a little bit and bid again. And again, somebody else has a higher bid. So that's the other thing that you can do is you can put a higher bid in yourself, and then you don't have to sit and watch it. So let's say you're going to do $150 on that meat bundle. You can put in a max bid, and then it just watches it itself. And you can go back in and take a look at it later. So there's lots of ways to use this. But we have a Door County Gourmet Coffee Basket, a Scottish basket, cross-stitch needlework picture, Christmas quilted table runner. Oh, I like this. The always popular pot of gold. It's got $100 worth of pick tickets for the lottery pick tickets.
I think we can also mention, Dan, that we're going to put that silent auction up a day before the gala, so you can actually get access to it on Friday, and you can start bidding. And then we're going to also leave it up on Sunday, so that in case you got inspired during the gala, you want to go back and take a look at that item, and you might have been outbidded, you're going to have one more chance to be able to get it. So that's something we're going to do new this year with the virtual gala, is that we're going to put it up a day early. We're going to leave it on a day late. And I also think that's important that, we talk about a little bit of the Fund the Need, because I know that everybody thinks about, well, what is the Fund the Need? It is cabin renovations. And the important thing about the cabin renovations, I want everybody to know this, is because one of the things that we really want to do with the cabin renovations is make sure that our artists, the people that come and stay with us all summer, are able to perform at their best, to be able to set them up for success. And so part of these renovations include putting in faux wood flooring so that the moisture doesn't get into the carpets all winter long, and that creates, a musty smell. We want to put in faux wood floors. We're going to be able to put in a countertop that is going to allow them to be able to have more meals by themselves, so that we can live in a post-COVID world. And maybe that's something we're going to have to think about. So it's going to come with a microwave and a mini fridge. That's something that they're also going to have, and they're air conditioned. And they're going to get new paint. So when our artists walk into their cabins, we want them to be blown away. We want them to really feel like this is going to be their home for the next 3 months, and we want them to be excited and set them up to thrive and to succeed.
And not only air conditioning, but because we are starting earlier and we're going later, we're
all of our
cabins, those units that are air and heat.
Yes. Air and heat, so even better. So again, That is important. We want to make sure that our artists are set up for success. So your contributions to the Fund the Need is huge this year, because again, when we come back and program for our 60th year, we want everybody to feel like they are going to just fly through the stars and onto our Timberlake stage, and then go and rest their head at night in one of their new cabins.
So a couple of comments. Cassie says, can't wait for Gala 2020. Me neither. It's going to be fun.
Cassie, one of our Gala committee members. Cassie, thank you so much for all you do with the Gala committee, and we are very excited and nervous, but excited.
And what is Fund the Need this year? Well, Joe answered, it's renovating cabins, but Paul, you'd already answered that, so we have that out there. I wanted to make sure we talked tonight about how we do the bidding. And if you buy a ticket, you're getting daily emails from me that kind of talk us through all the different kinds of things. So by the end of the week, not only will you be sick of getting emails from me, but you will also know everything you need to know to participate in Saturday night's gala. Wanted to make sure that we talked about some of the items that we have, and I'm going to be doing emails over the next couple of days, which will have more descriptions of the items. So make sure that you're getting our TLP e-blasts. If you're not, pop on the website and sign up to get our daily e-blasts for this next week. And also wanted to make sure that people understand that this pre-show we're doing, that's open to everybody. So prior to the gala, you don't have to have a ticket to join us. You can listen to music for a half an hour, and at 6:30, Paul and I are going to go on, and we're probably going to do kind of like we do here with TLP Live, and we're going to have some guests to bring on. We're going to zoom into some parties and see how people are getting ready and prepared. We'll do our first gala specialty drink in the pre-show. So even if you're not a ticket holder and coming to the gala, you can join us for that pre-show drink. In fact, Paul, maybe I better send I maybe better add the ingredients in one of my emails that goes out to everyone, so everyone can have the ingredients at home and mix up that first cocktail.
Yeah. I think that, and I think you can have my drink ready.
Yeah. Well, we tested that drink.
My drink's ready, Dan. Just want to know
that. Okay. Well, we tested that drink last weekend, and we can guarantee that drink was good. I think we'll have to make sure we have more ingredients here. So when Nicole, our bartender, finishes mixing the drink, she can kind of make sure that we have a little libation to enjoy the rest of the evening with. So we'll have to make sure that happens this week too. Paul, anything else about the gala that we want to make sure to let people know?
Well, I do want to give a shout out, if I can, Dan, to Gail Moulet, who is another one of our gala committee members. She was a former board member, and she is my hero. I love Gail, and Gail is volunteering to be able to bring some party boxes to the area of Rock Falls and Sterling. So if you're thinking about buying a ticket but not sure about getting the party box, Gail Moulet, our hero, TLP Superwoman, she'll be able to bring you a box. I don't want to speak out of turn and say how many times she would do that, but here's her post right here. So thank you, Gail. You are amazing. And yes, buy tickets. We want everybody to partake with this celebration. We're very, very, very excited about it. And we think we're gonna pull it off. I think it's gonna be great, Dan. I think it's gonna be great.
I don't think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's I think we've being able to find this company, Metropolitan Zoom, has been a real big deal for us, because otherwise, we would be trying to do the production ourselves and, be the hosts and everything else. And it's difficult to do, as you saw a moment ago when my computer went down and I had to go deal with that. I was like, Paul, talk, see you later. So, yeah, and I took a few boxes out last week, and I delivered a couple today. And it was interesting. I got to one house, the address was correct, and the lady looked at me like, "That's not me. I don't know who you're trying to give this to, but it's not me." So it's like, okay, well, we'll go figure this one out. But so it's been fun going out and seeing people, and and dropping off boxes. And Gail has done such a great job with that. And so is the rest of our committee. Our committee consists of Robin Sarr, who is our board president, Mike Shore, who is one of our board vice presidents. And then we have 3 members of the committee who are community members, Laura Kashner, Cassie Mlacker, and Gail Millay. And then, of course, Paul and I are on the gala committee. And I think planning has gone extremely well, and we're going to have a great time. Well, I think that's about it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us again. We appreciate all of your support. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll look forward to this weekend. Paul, thank you very much. And remember, everyone, as we close tonight, we're all in this together. Thank you.
Well, Dan, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but